Welcome to the Indians in Germany podcast. I'm Manish and I'm excited to bring you this podcast that celebrates the vibrant and diverse community of Indians living in Germany. Our guest today is Dr. Gunjan Khandelwal, a physician based in Germany. Dr. Khandelwal is looking forward to being an interventional cardiologist in Germany. He completed his MD from the State Medical College in Russia, later went on to do his permanent residency license in India and decided to pursue further opportunities in Germany. Here he is doing his residency in internal medicine and cardiology since more than 5 years. Dr. Khandelwal has a passion for medicine, adventure sports, skydiving, scuba, long distance endurance sports, and trekking. So, welcome, Dr. Khandelwal. The stage is all yours. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you very much, Manishji. Thank you for the podcast, and it's a very good initiative. I'm doing good, thank you. And how are you doing?
Great, I'm doing fine, and it's really lovely that you accepted. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background and how you ended up in Germany?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you said, I after completing my 12th standard in India, I directly opted for medical sciences, which I got an opportunity to do in a government medical college in Russia. At that time was 2006. From 2006 to 12, I graduated from Russia and then continued my licensing exam in India, which was another documentation work and quite a exam and processes and all. And after getting my permanent license, I didn't want it to sit at home. So I thought, okay, let's do something more. And I had an interest in cardiology. The subject fascinated me in many ways, and I found it in some ways easy in respect with other subjects. So then I thought to continue it further, and the next opportunity that I got was in Germany. Here I came. Obviously, the processes and the documentation, the paperwork, visa, and everything takes time in Germany. And after completing all the processes, exam, licensing exam, and getting a permanent registration in Germany, then I kept on continuing my residency, and yeah, I'm here right now.
Awesome. And if I may ask, what were some of the biggest cultural differences you experienced when you first arrived, say in Germany, and how did you adapt to these differences? Because this happens to every expat, right? So perhaps if you can highlight those.
Yeah. So every person who is coming here has his own perspective. And I think that if you land in a big city, you will have a much different perspective in comparison if you land in a small area, a town, or a village. If you are in a medical field, it's a very highly likely that you are going to land in a small town or a village because getting into big cities and big hospitals, they take with experiences or with contacts.
Mhm.
So my experience was I landed up in a very small village in a state known as Niedersachsen, that is in north in Germany.
Mhm.
And the initial shock, cultural shock that you will feel that there is a huge lack of people. There is suddenly it's empty. The streets are empty. It's cold. It's dark. It's rainy, and the shops are closed on Sunday. And fortunately, I think I landed on Saturday evening,
Mhm.
and I thought, okay, Sunday is a good time to at least buy some food and all. And suddenly everything was closed. And you thought, and obviously you come from medical field, and you know you are watching a lot of movies. The first thing you get is an apocalyptic feeling. What
Shit.
happened?
So yeah,
What happened?
that is so true because when I also came, I thought like, is it a holiday or something? Why so less people? Because and when you go back to India, while traveling, you will see, oh my God, there's like a huge population, right? Like in India, so there's like both ways cultural shock of you know high and low population. That I totally understand. Apart from that, like any funny incidents that happen, like how smooth was your arrival and settling down?
Yeah, that is, I think, because I have lived in Russia, so I knew how to cook food or how to survive, and in a Western country or in a cold country. So that experience in Russia did help me here. But I think few highlights that I could point out here is like the mentality of people is quite different here. It's quite straightforward. People here, what I found is that people here, they say the truth. They say they are like they're very straightforward, and they will not think that being straightforward, if it's hurting the other person or not, they will just say it. That's it. And it's like that. The food is different. The obviously the language is different. Again, if you land in small towns and village, they will not speak English very often. They might try to understand it, but you can see from the face they are not understanding anything. So you get a very good language barrier. The second thing is the climate, the totally different climate. Yes, it's very fresh. In the air, the water, the climate, it's very fresh here. And it might take some time to get used to it, because we come from India, and we like the climate there. Somehow, all the pollution, including the noise pollution, it's very peaceful. It's very peaceful, means it's like you can hear your own voice. Like, if it's very, very peaceful here, and it's a rule here. Rules and regulations are the another point that I'd like to highlight, that they have very good structure, very good system, and rules and regulations. And 95% people, you will see that they are following the rules.
Yeah.
This is something I really respect about them. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think, telling you, I mean, you reminded me of something about, when you said peace, because I remember a relative, of a friend of mine. She's like an old lady, and she lives in Delhi, and she had a hearing problem. But whenever she comes to Germany, to visit, she starts listening, like her ear becomes okay. And whenever she goes back, so that was a very funny incident that, so sometimes in India, we are not used to realize that, our ears might face some damaged, especially if you are living in in an area which is close to the traffic and stuff like that, in Delhi or like any metro city. So that is like a good point. Yeah. And so how do you maintain a sense of connection to your Indian roots while living in Germany, and what cultural practices do you continue to observe here?
So, homesickness, first of all, that the thing is that to maintain a connection to your Indian roots, it is inborn in you. It is there. There are a lot of things you will see are totally different here, but somehow, somewhere, you will see that whatever you have learned in your childhood, whatever you have, how you are born and brought up, these qualities will always be there. Like small things, like if you're in a work, or during the work, or at the streets, or in the buses, if you like see some old people, you will just get up and let them sit automatically, or you will help them carry some bags and all. But this is like very strange to them, because usually
They are not used to that. Yeah.
the culture here is that culture here, I think, very specific, in very small word, it will be like self-dependency.
Absolutely. Like
You,
self-reliance.
these people are trained since childhood to do their own things. Even they are 80 years old or 90, or they are kids like 10 years, they will do their things themselves. So if you help them, they feel like bit strange, like, oh, what happened? And so that is something. But you are in India, we are born in a bit different. We are like respecting elders and this and that, and
So many
this is
formalities that we do. Yeah, that's true.
exactly. And so this I find something like, because in the initial phases when you are new, obviously it's like a something, how you will communicate with the other people, what they are thinking, this and that. They will obviously, when they communicate, they are very respectful to you. But later on, after couple of years, or couple of months, couple of years, you start to dissolve in the system. And then you start to do things to, just to see how, if you make, like German uncomfortable, it's very interesting to see how they react. Like just help them. and they will be like totally, what happening, how we can help them. Or just break a simple rule, just, the rule, you're doing it, just try to do it differently and then see the reaction. So it becomes very interesting, the more you live here. Obviously, there are a lot of hurdles to overcome, but the more you live here and the more you grasp the language, the more you dissolve in the system, and the more you start loving yourself, you started putting yourself first, and then you will slowly realize the fun here, and that is the small things and these small stuff that actually, you will start enjoying it. It is a very positive point that I think I can say here, because there are a lot of negative stuff. There are a lot of things that they will scare you, but that is the thing to get to develop yourself, to mature yourself, and to see your capabilities. And I think there's a very good opportunity. These difficulties are in fact an opportunities, and once you overcome them, then it is just fun. It's like that person. What do you think? Yeah, you are here since.
I'm not like, so I'm here since 2008, so I mean almost 14 15 years, right? So quite long. So I had my funny moment as well. And I'm sure, like, so I mean you have a C1 level language, right? I don't have that kind of advanced level of German, but yeah, doctors must learn German, right? Because you have to interact with the and how difficult was it for you, the language, because that's one of the very big barriers for any expat actually in Germany.
Okay, very good question. So, all those people who love language, or all those people who don't like the language, uh, one thing that somebody will ask me, that the thing that I will not do in this life or in this world, for me, is learning a language. And if I can do C1, I think double C1, two C1 certificate and SSP certificates and all that. So if I can do it, it should be a piece of cake for you. Definitely.
No, I think
So how?
I think you underestimate yourself, because I know so many Indians who are here for much longer, even much longer than me, and they suck at their German, because so, like, for example, IT employees, their jobs mostly in English, right? Like, I can tell you, like, I came here to do my PhD and I have been in jobs which was always in English, so my German is also like quite broken. It's not as good as anybody who actually does his day-to-day practice in German. So it cannot be that kind of. But you are right, like, where there is a will, there is a way, for sure. Yes.
Well, so I think here I would add one point definitely, and this is I think is the question always remains that we can always speak superficially, but to make this topic a little bit interesting, his question is how to learn the language.
Absolutely.
And how I figured it, how I, it's like, for me it was like more of a mathematics stuff rather than the language stuff, and a few logics. So these two things I used it. For example, uh, the initial B1 B2 level, it's something you can do it, it's not a big deal. The actual language comes at C1 level, where the actual grammar and the word charts, that is the new words and how they use the words with different prepositions, and that is something that is really fascinating. And there is one app known as like Book, that is like a wonder app. You will learn the language very fast and very good in that. And secondly, I think is the simple logic that you have to let the brain understand and train itself, that you automatically start speaking the language. You cannot force the brain to speak the language. We cannot mug up the language, and you can do it till B1 or B2 also. But what I did is I just went to the Goethe Institute in Pune for the super intensive course. That's one of the good institute, one of the best in India, I think. I went there like a first standard school. I just went there, and I have this habit since school that always to give 100% attendance, even in school, even in college. So this time also I went, and I decided that I will just come. That's it. I will do nothing. I will do all the homeworks. I will listen and I will come. And after 14 months, I was automatically speaking the language. So that was the logic. That was the concept behind my sitting and 100% attendance and all the homeworks, that I let the brain get oriented automatically, and the brain remodule itself in such a way that you automatically start understanding and start speaking the language.
Wow.
So that is the logic and concept behind it. And the Viewer book, the word starts this homework, that says something like key things and very, very little bit every day, and you are like good to go.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that is true.
That's a great tip and great advice, I must say. I mean, and I mean, many Germans also say it to me, that you have to immerse yourself in the language, So I think, by making sure that your attendance was full, I think you immersed yourself in the, in learning the language, and that's the key actually. So that's great advice. And from your advice, I mean, I would ask you, like, because there are many, especially in our group, like the Indians in Germany group, there are many people who actually, asked for advice if they want to come and be like they have already done their MBBS, or they are already, you know, they want to become doctors. So there are kind of two kind of inquiries that I get. One is like they have done their MBBS and they want to come and practice here, and number two is somebody who has done +2 and they want to become a doctor in Germany. So, what advice would you give, and the process, if you can highlight for those students?
Yeah, that is, I would say, that's a very easy topic. And no, it's quite a straightforward process. So I would first of all emphasize on those medical graduates who have already did their undergrads and aspiring to do their residency in super specialization. So first of all, you have to understand one thing, and very easy, is that in Germany there is, first of all, you don't have to do a competitive exams, and you don't have to do another competitive exam post PG to go into super specialization. The benefit of this is, it is not that you will become weak. It is because your interest in medicine will stay. You don't have to, like, I have seen, I've been to government medical colleges, government medical hospitals to work there. And I saw that the residents in ortho had no interest in orthopedics because he didn't got the seat in internal medicine. So he forcefully took the seat in orthopedics, and 3 years he was just, like working. You know how it goes in government. They just work 24 hours like anything. And this is a very good, I don't know, it's very, very good, uh, capacity to work and get good motivation to work. But there is also another way, and this way is that, to develop your interest and then actually work how you are feeling it, instead of how you are forced to feel it.
Absolutely.
um, this is very, very important, because once you start uh, feeling the subject on your own, you don't even have to read the textbook, you become a textbook.
Yeah. So
This is a
because
very
it's your hobby, it becomes your, like, it's not like a hard work, but it's like, your something that you are doing out of interest.
Exactly. You're doing out of interest, and uh, thing is that you start understanding that the books are also written by the same people who also went through the same process that you are going through.
Absolutely.
So obviously, thing is that first of all, you start thinking yourself that how any problem comes, or any new disease come, or how this disease is developing, then you start self automatically thinking that how it will go. And then you see the practical in residency, that, oh, okay, the disease is developing in such a way. And then you read the books and you see the experiences of other people, and you find a similarity, that what you thought and what the person who wrote the book thought, they're quite similar. Why I'm emphasizing this is that this is what happens in Germany. If you do the residency in Germany, you get the opportunity to do what you are interested in, and it is not easy to find an interest. For me, I changed like 3 4 hospitals, at least 5 departments, to just find my actual interest. I love my cardiology theory, but when it comes to practical learning and actually working and doing it, you see the amount of documentation, the brain work, the brain training that you have to do, and then you find an interest later. So that is the point. To reach there, it takes some time and patience, and you are. That's why then. The MBBS time is the time that you train yourself for that. The process is very simple, just in 4 steps. Is learn the language and apply for the visa and apply for the practicals here
So,
in hospital.
but you advise students to learn the language in India itself, right? Like they have to first learn the
Help until C1.
till C1. So okay, so you advise them to first learn the language and then make an application of what? Like where should they make the application?
Yeah, okay. I understood your thought out. So, setting aside all the theory, let me get to the practical first. So, it's very easy. So, first of all, you sit and leave everything in your life and just do language. That much you have to focus on the language. And once you are doing the language, you reach levels like in German language, there is A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1. Okay. So once you start completing B1 and going to B2, you start collecting all the documents that you have in your life from birth till that point. You take all those documents plus add extra like police clearance certificate from any country you have lived in your whole life. All those documents you give for translation. There is a group Indians in Germany in Facebook. They have also the number for the translation, which translator and everything, the price and everything. Just mail them. They will do all the translations of that document and they will do an apostille, that is a stamp, and then they will send it back to you as a PDF and also a hard copy. In the meantime, you start applying for the hospitals. I would suggest you, because at my time when I came, I had no guidance proper. So I did an agent and all stuff, and that costed me a fortune. And then I decided that no, I will not let anybody have an agent. So I just
I also I never advise for consultants or agents. I mean, I always tell people, even like I've helped many people secure admission into their master's program here. And because the process is so straightforward that, one should not feel cheated, by the agents or the consultants. So they should do, but that's why I think this interview is very useful, because you will, you are highlighting the process, because many people sitting in India, they don't know the process, So I think,
there I think, yeah, even I'm in Facebook also, I'm contacting many people every day, like 3 to 4 people, and I'm advising everyone as much as I can what to do, what to not. So after collecting all your papers and you start applying for hospitals for something known as hospitation. It means like an internship, which is unpaid, but you do get room and food with the internship. So it is much advisable that you should contact somebody who is already working here, for example me or any of the colleagues.
Yeah.
And this tell them directly that to help them for the hospitation. I can, for example, I have contacts here, so I can directly tell the head to prepare a paper for him for that he can come here and all. The internship should be more than 3 months. It's very important. Why I emphasize it? Because it's when you apply for the visa, then any visa below 3 months, they will put you in the Schengen category, Schengen student category, and when you come here, you cannot extend it. No matter what.
That's very
So
important.
you have to go back, then come back, and it's like an up and down that I also did, and it's hell. You will not like it.
No. So
say the same thing to the examiner, that is a doctor, and the doctor's Gespräch, that is conversation, where you actually tell the everything in German medical words. So this is something, the process that I told to do the TELC medicine, do the C1 language, the TELC medicine course, and then the hospitation. This is why I told this process, because this process will help you to get trained for this exam automatically. And this exam you will find like a piece of cake. I went in the morning from my place to Hanover. It was like around 1 hour or 1.5 hours. And then I gave the exam there, and in the afternoon I was back and I was again doing my internship. So it was like a piece of cake. I just went there, did the exam, and chill out. Okay.
wow.
So it was.
So you were like, you were. I totally understand. Like when you are like really well prepared, because you did the C1 honestly there, like investing your time in India, right? So that helped you. So yeah, so that is like, and it was very impressive of you of saying that you were like having 100% attendance. So that shows your commitment. So yeah,
I think, yeah, that's 100% is thing is that you start from the school itself. So from college, school, and you just everything what you are doing since childhood is a process and training for you to whatever you're gonna do. I think
absolutely,
so. This
absolutely,
is what the whole system designed for.
absolutely.
Yeah, and then once your SSP is done, so then the whole process becomes relative easier because the same papers that you submitted for the whole medical concept, the same paper you make another copy and submit it to the uh, main for the permanent licensing exam.
Mm.
Again, the processing time will take 8 months, 12 months. For me, it took 16 months.
Wow. So in during that time, what would you do? Like, how would you sustain? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So you once you get this FSP, when you clear this FSP, you get a temporary medical license. Temporary is because it means like it's for 2 years only validity.
Okay.
It can be extended for Indians, yeah,
Mhm.
for information. Because there are other foreign countries like Syria, Turkey, and all, they cannot expand it properly.
Okay.
So for these 2 years, you start your residency. Now the thing here is that this residency will not be counted in your specialization course. Uh, that news came up a bit later because when I started working, I was already 3 years in my residency, and that suddenly they announced it and they told it is not counted. So you just lost 3 years like that. But don't worry. Be clever. Always have plan B, plan C, preparations and everything. So nothing is a loss. In medical, in life, then nothing is a loss. It's just an experience. It's
It's
okay.
an experience, absolutely. That's like
Yeah,
you have
and
to have that positive mindset. Yeah.
you have to have to mindset. And that is, I think, you will develop automatically. Once you come to Germany, it becomes very easy stuff. Like, okay. And one thing I will give you very good motivation that why to do this is whatever expense in your life you had until now, including a university, college, schools, vacations, planes, and all. 6 months to 8 months, you will cover it. So that is the financial stability you get. Okay.
After
So that is a very good
yeah.
that is good motivation. Like I think so. Yeah, I think so. From my side, it was like within 6 months, 8 months, I was like, okay, now we are in game.
Yeah. So you recovered everything and you are in plus. So it's an investment. So whatever time and money that you spend in the beginning, it is sure that you should be sure that you get back very easily after 6 months. Yeah. So that's
Yeah, you get back exactly. But you don't lose your focus here because they say that you are a king when you have the permanent medical license or the king's son. So, because king is when you have the specialization. So yeah. So here you when you apply for your permanent registration, then there is another thing is that you have it is very very advisable for me also that you keep working. Don't sit at home. The reason being that this permanent medical exams is not like the permanent medical exam in India, not like a pre-PG exam in India, because there it is more theory stuff. Here in this exam, they ask you the practical stuff. Let me give you an example how it is. In India, the exam, for example, a blood transfusion bottle. Okay, so that is like you get a whole bottle of blood transfusion, and then in India, theory would be that okay, how much ml is the blood inside that bottle, and how much is the citrate material, and what is the function of the citrate material. Okay, the same question I will hear in German medical exam is that okay, so you are giving the blood transfusion to the patient, and you will do a bedside test. Then you will say yes, okay. What is written in that bedside test kit? Now the thing is that is not written in the books,
yeah.
but you are like only you will only learn that when you have worked through it. You
Absolutely.
cannot.
No, and that is so true for other careers as well. When I came here, like for research purposes, I felt the same. Like like in India, the emphasis is more on theory and book. That's also because we have an infrastructure issue, right? Like, but here it's too much like you are very practically oriented, right? Like even a bachelor or a school student sometimes have exposure to like big machines because they do that internship here. So very rightly said that the entrance examination here and there, like they are totally different. So here, like just mugging up the book will not help.
will not help.
Yeah.
Will only you can only understand the things and it will
Concept.
make it easier to remember the conceptual understanding and conceptual
Yeah.
remembrance.
I mean, theory has its own advantage for sure, but but then, the practicality of it is also very important. So,
Yes. So yeah, exactly. Then they will just ask what is written in the bedside test, and also how long will that if you give the transfusion, will you throw it in the dustbin or will you keep it in a packet, or how long will you keep it in the packet? And so these are these small questions that will really like, oh shit, I have no idea. Or you might be having an idea. You might, oh, okay, this many hours. But once you say you have seen it and you're like, yeah, okay, it's like, okay, this is written. It should like 24 hours in the packet and all that. And you have to inform this and this. And in case a reaction comes, that's why the reason is to keep in the packet. How I know it? Because I've seen that.
you
And I know I have done both the sides. I have seen the problems with that and not the problems with that. So I was like, okay, yeah, what? And when I will go and give the exam, I was like, what the heck is asking, man? This is very easy stuff. But when 5 years back, when I gave the exam, I was like, what's happening? This is not so best. So that is a very big thing in there. So that's why be careful with this permanent medical licensing exam, because this is not something that you cleared your pre-PG there or did this and that and you come here, because their intention is, and you're giving it in German medical language in a very hoch level, very high level,
sure.
very high level language proficiency with the way I'm speaking English. This is the way I speak in German. Wow. Yeah, that fast and that much understanding, that much comprehension, and that much use of proper words and proper ethics. So this is what my level is right now. So this is how you speak in your exam in such a manner that you are conversing, and they will feel like, oh, they don't feel like they want to talk in English. They will like, oh yeah, just chill out, he's doing good, just like that. And this is for 3 hours. Oh my! You are bombarded there for 3 hours, and if you don't eat the breakfast, you will definitely lose 2 kgs after it. So this is what you have to do. And once you did your approbation, this is known as approbation. That is the permanent medical license. And once you get an approbation, then you are a free bird.
Wow.
How I mean free bird is that then with your temporary medical license known as Beruf Erlaubnis, you can only work in that state where you got it. But once you get your approbation or the permanent medical license, you can go anywhere in Germany.
Wow.
Even also you can go in the Schweiz, the Switzerland, the
Wow.
Austria, yeah, and you can go and work. So that's why you are the prince, not the king, but the.
Thing you
So
become
now,
after the specialization, as you said.
yeah, the thing you become after specialized, then you are like, okay, then you think for Dubai and everything, like that. Then you are like, oh yeah, Germany, yeah, I will do that.
Then your focus is more monetary, you said. So, okay.
So these are just the professions, the very superior level, tip of the mountain stuff, and the easy stuff to do. There are many small things that also includes the problems in the life, problems in living.
No, we will come to that. We will come to that. But like this was the process for medical graduates, and there's lot of inquiries that I also get from say +2 students who want to come to Germany and become a doctor. Perhaps you can highlight the process.
Yeah, the +2, it might be, I might not be the right person for that, because I think they need C1 to C2 level language and then some test stuff and tell to certificates. I think, and there's because in the same any medical institute in the world, if you want to enter, you need a very high marks.
So good marks, and yeah, I mean we can have another session for that.
Yes.
So, I mean, we will.
I think that's a I think it's very difficult for me, because I don't have a single contact who is doing a.
I have had some contacts, but and I can tell you that you were saying correct that you need really good marks in India. Plus, when you come here, you have to do kind of a student in college in the Fagbar, like in the medicine, think pre-medicine, and after 1 year of student college, you have to give another exam, and then marks of the student in college and your Indian marks will be averaged out, and if that note is like really hook, like really high, then based, and if you made that cutoff, then you perhaps will be assigned a medical college. And I can tell you the stats are not in favor of the Indian student, because I think if 100 students come here for studying medicine, only I think 5 of them make it. But I'm just highlighting this point because a lot of consultants in India, they charge, they lure the parents, and they say, oh no, it's very easy to become a doctor in Germany, you have to just, and they kind of squeeze money. And then once the candidate is here, they realize it is very difficult, but they have already paid the money, right? So you have to be careful, so this is the message that I want to give. But we will have a perhaps a separate session for that, where like we can bring an undergrad who has done like their medicine here, and then perhaps he can highlight the process. But I mean, overall, what you said is so much, I mean, so much informative, and so much helpful to many people who kind of message me on Facebook. So this is really really um precious information, I must say. uh, so moving further, so what advice you will have for Indians who are like considering moving to Germany, and what are the some of the things they should be prepared for? Like you said that it's like not straightforward and everything, but like some tips and tricks, basically.
Learn to cook food.
This is wow.
For
Otherwise, you will be forced to.
Otherwise, you will be forced. I am till today. I am forced to. I know how to cook, obviously,
Yeah.
but till now, if you you will learn it. Just learn to cook food, and very like even learn how to make small and quick dishes, like from suji and some from maybe versus I don't know besan and all that.
Yeah.
These stuff are like very quick to make and very easy and very tasty and healthy also.
But
So
this is
just
so nice, that's why I think a lot of girls, especially the Indian girls love NRI, men, not just because they, I think, good career wise, because they are very nice cooks, because they are all forced to learn cooking, so so you are a very eligible bachelor, you are a doctor, you know to cook, so all the girls out there watching, I mean,
and then I'm single, yeah.
they're single. Yeah, so that's also something to highlight. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
And no, but that's
advice.
no, but Gunjan, that's important, because we'll come to the other aspect of the German experience, is that Indians essentially can be like because you are an immigrant, an expat, and it is not very easy to integrate in the German society. The negative side of it. And as a Indian, especially in in say fields like medicine, where like you have very few Indians, right? You can get very lonely very easily, and perhaps you can with your experience living in Germany, you can tell about how living in Germany basically impacted your personal and professional life, and what lessons you have learned.
Wow, that is a very good question. That's a very good question. I think that is a less spoken and one of the major part of the problems that any medical person will face here in the initial phases. That is, see, I will tell you in a very simple way that loneliness hits everyone. That is my thinking and my
Absolutely.
perspective.
No, that is so true. People are not like willing to speak for it, because they feel, oh, I'm the only lonely guy. But that's not true. Even in India, during the pandemic, there was like there was a study which was telling how depressed people became, because they lacked the social interaction. And the whole purpose of making this podcast or the group is to kind of facilitate interaction, especially among our community, so that you don't feel like alone, that you are alone. So go on, go on.
So, my concept, I'm telling you how I see the world and what are my concepts, because every person has his own perspective, own upbringing, and own mental strength. Loneliness hits everyone, and for medical stuffs and for medical students, and if you are single and you have decided to come here, so the first thing that is gonna hit you very very hard in very small time is the loneliness, because you will be going through immense level of brain work and brainstorming and right amount of stress in the initial 9 months to 12 months till you get used to it, because the language barrier is not the barrier that you go and speak in the streets and small people. No, this the language barrier is when you actually work.
Absolutely.
Actually work and your brain doesn't accept the language. And then you have to mug up everything because anybody will ask you anything. And you're like, what's up? So that is the language barrier that takes some couple of amount of bite hairs to overcome it. And
And plus, I think a lot of resilience, that, you were not ready to give up, because a lot of people give up.
yeah,
Yeah.
give up is, you're right. I agree with you completely. Uh, when you deal with too much of stress, yeah, we are in medical, we are trained to do it in medical, in the limits. But in the real world, when the physically you have to move here and there, but plus mentally also, that you have to think so much and remember so much, you are exhausted. Okay, you're drained out. Then you go home and then you have to cook food. And then, if you manage to do that, you have to wash clothes and keep your room as much as you can. And also remember for the tomorrow, the next day, because the patient will not go home. You have to remember everything for tomorrow. And
So lot of brain power, like, a lot of CPUs, processing, everything's going in parallel. So you have to be excellent, planner. Like, you have to say, and multitasking, at the same time.
why didn't get speak? It is not a scary part. It is something you will become. That is for sure. That I'm giving you an assurance. You will become that. The thing is that you keep the resilience, as he said. You keep that stamina, and you keep going. You just say, yeah, okay, I will eat the pizza, and it's okay. Let's keep. Thing is that slowly you become stronger, but that much draining out of the body and in the other place, with the climate, with the language, with the less interaction and leading too much stress, the loneliness hits you very fast. And if you're not passionate about sport, that's why I'm in the starting of the this podcast, I told that I'm passionate about sports and long distance endurance sports and also extreme adventure sports. These things I do it to balance myself, to deal with the everyday problems. Already you are seeing your day starts with sick people, your day ends with somebody's dead, maybe, or you are reanimation doing something CPR and all stuff. And this is your normal days in your medical life. Okay, but as if you see in a general view, this is something that has an impact on your psychological
Mental health. Absolutely. Absolutely.
and nobody take care of it. And that's the thing, that nobody will take care of it. It is only you that you have to take care of it. That's why the loneliness part is that hit me definitely. And I was like, I felt it, I knew it. And I tried to find friends, I tried to find a girlfriend, I tried to find partners, I tried to find groups, anything. But I was localized in such a small area that I could go on weekends or do this and that. Then I was like, since school time I'm doing sports and all. Then I started doing sports, yoga, pilates, table tennis, and this and that.
I play a lot of table tennis. So if you come here, like, we can play together. Just telling you. Yeah. Yeah.
And but what happened is, then the hospital start giving you extra duties, and these duties timings are irregular. Like sometimes
Yep.
till evening 4 o'clock, then sometimes in the evening 8 o'clock, then
Your
another
circadian rhythm. Yeah, your circadian rhythm gets fucked up. Yeah.
now you had a structure, you had a plan, and suddenly the extra duties came, and your plan is going everywhere, and again you have to think. And don't forget that you also have to eat food 3 times or 2 times a day, that and drink enough fluids and everything. So this comes on the hand, and we forget that usually when we are in stress, and there is nobody taking care. And always at home you are talking, also taking care of parents and talking to them. And what I did is, when the loneliness, see, my way of dealing with loneliness is different. When loneliness hits me, I let it, I accept it, and I face it, and I face it till it becomes at its worst. at that point that you actually feel like quitting is that easiest part. You feel like and then not the suicide part, but you feel like literally what I'm doing in my life.
Yeah,
It
you feel
takes
like a
12
loser, but that's the classical symptom, isn't it? Like that's the classical thing.
classes.
That's like when you because you're a medical doctor, you are aware of this, but many people, who are not very aware of the, of the, the clinical symptoms and stuff, they think that there's like only he's like they feel like loser, but it's not like that you are a loser, but it's just like it's the symptoms which are appearing, because you have not taken care of your mental health.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
or at the top of it, the quietness here, the peace here will actually add more loneliness to it because you're not used to that.
And I
There
remember you said that the cows in India is sometimes it's more peaceful and more rewarding, because you have no, I mean, that you don't have that kind of a privacy, in India. So you're always disturbed and occupied, and you have no time to even think that about your mental health, and you kind of, but also in India, a lot of people are quite like they're facing mental health issues, especially in the medicine and the research world. Because I was at AIMS, in a biophysics lab, and I was like seeing regular suicides there. So, and this is something, perhaps we can have another session dedicated to it, Gunjan, about mental health. I think this is an elephant in the room that nobody likes to like address. Reason being that, it's still like, I think Indians are very, um, like they feel like that it is a stigma. But, and Gunjan, you are a man, you have lived in Russia and everything, you do endurance sports. Imagine, I have seen firsthand like how a girl, she was from a very pampered family. She started a PhD in Heidelberg, and then, just after 7 months or 8 months, she was like, she lost, I think, 14, 15 kgs, and she left and went back because she was like, she said, like, I get suicidal thoughts daily. So so these are the things, that one should, I mean, not that Germany is so depressing, but you have to be strong enough, and you have to be kind of open enough to address these problems. You have to, reach out to people, you have to interact and stuff like that. So I mean, very very good point, Kunjan, that we are opening up about this. Yeah.
So I think that whatever you're saying, it has a point to it. Uh, for me, same thing happened, and how I do it, I let it get worse. I accept it, I know it, and I let it get worse, and just observe it that till what level it can get worse. And a point comes that you hit the bottom. Then you hit that bottom that
Like the rock bottom.
like totally bottom that you cannot feel more worse than this. That's it.
but
And
but
that's
but
the
as a
reason
doctor, but as a doctor, what would you advise? Yeah, continue. Yeah,
that
because I don't want to, I don't want to give a message which is depressing, for people. But yeah.
no. Hold on. Bear with me. There is a reason why I'm feeling it. There's a big reason. And why I do this, why I let it complete train myself or completely feel like this, complete quiet. There were times that for months, weeks to months, that was so much quiet that I used to hear this voice like completely like all the way. You start hearing it, and mark my words that after months, when you are at the bottom, na, you will start feeling this energy, and you will automatically, you will see the power that is coming inside you, and you will learn what to do.
It
If you're
goes back.
not in this situation, if you'll run back to home, if you will, as he also said, you start communicating with friends and everything and all, they are supporting you, but when you are gonna go down, you're gonna go down and let it go. The point here is that then only you will learn how to go ahead, how to slowly and very carefully put your steps ahead and go up, because there is only way up. And this is what I did.
And
This is what
Gunjan,
I
that
did.
is, this is a, I mean, this is a positive example when you are saying this, so if your health is like good, your body will, kind of fight back. But the thing is, some people, like those who, don't take like good diet, balanced diet and stuff, they can go like even like they can become miserable, so it's like you acknowledge that you are like hitting a rock bottom, but then you should be healthy enough, like diet wise,
For
to take care of that, so
very important point. Yeah, very important point, because I never drank alcohol. Also in Russia, also in here.
yeah.
I never smoked, nothing. I just there is a natural power in the body, and that comes, that believe, you have to just believe. I am telling you, it comes automatically. And this is the point here. It is, you are healthy, your body is healthy, you exercise a lot, and you will recover like very fast. It is not that you will recover 100%, because the phase of loneliness will run through your life. There will be many times again after recovering, the point will come, you will again go down. It's okay, but this phase, you have went through the worst, so it cannot get more worse. And even if it get more worse, you're ready for it, because you know how to train for it.
Yeah.
So that is the point. You will not learn in the textbook. This is something I wanted to highlight here in an extra point, because this is unprofessionally, or it is not included in profession at all.
It's nowhere, like
The
nobody speaks about it. Fortunately, I can tell you, I've had always like, circle of friends, so I've like, in my like also in the weekend, and you can, you could feel like how open I was to talk to you or whatever. So, even like during weekends, I always invite friends, that way, like, I mean, even if they are not very close friends, I try to be open, because you have few choices here, right? So you kind of keep an interaction, because nothing replaces human to human interaction. And I think, this podcast is also a way of me, like meeting new people, interacting, share their stories. So it's like, I think it's such a, nice thing for me to do. So, I mean, thank you, Gunjan, for giving these insights, really like amazing. Yeah.
Well, my way is like that way, that if there is nobody, then you are gonna, make yourself stronger.
Yeah.
And if the lucky, you will find friends like him. You will like find friends, you like companies if you're lucky. For me, I was in so small villages and small areas that for 200 kilometers, there were not a single Indian. So even I wanted also, it is, first of all, if you're in the initial phase, you don't have much money.
Yeah.
Traveling in this and that, you have to think twice. And if you come from India, the first thing it hits you is 80 to 1.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Totally.
So,
I mean, and it's the same thing. Like any person, like I have seen like you were at least a bit mature, but I mean, you've had the Russian experience. A lot of students, they come very young for like doing their graduation. And if they are like in scarcity of money, it's like two kinds of pressure, not just the loneliness and everything, but also like the financial stuff, so it's two stress. So,
but one thing is always a surety, that there is nothing like a must. Anytime you feel, you take a break, 1 month, 2 months, go back to home, recharge yourself, come back.
absolutely.
That's a very beautiful thing of our country. That is the
It
very.
recharges you. I mean, I am recharged because last 3 months I was in India, so traveling across India. So, so
Even I travel like 2 to 3 times in India just to recharge myself. Like in German, it's known as Auftanken.
yeah,
Like fueling the petrol.
absolutely. After, yeah, no, that's great. So, also, I mean, keeping this conversation, further, like you said, loneliness was one challenge. Language was, the another challenge. What was like others, like other hurdles that you can, highlight, perhaps other challenges?
Yeah. So I think these two were the major, the food and the loneliness, that would I would consider it like would cover most 40% of your issues. The other issues are like the climate. So if you're in
The
North
weather.
Germany, if you're in the north, the weather, yeah. If you are North Germany, forget the sun for 8 months.
And also it's windy, so I've kind of lived in Hamburg for some months, as a consultant, I was traveling that side. It was too windy all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Windy, cold, rainy, wet, and dark. So you will become a like kind of a, if you know what a vampire is.
Zombie. You can be a
So,
zombie.
so, but in medical field, you become a vampire, because every morning you go and you take the blood from patients.
Yeah, finally, Gunjan, let's end on the positive note and tell us, like, tell the audience the things you love most about living in Germany, and what are some of your favorite places to visit or things to do in the country.
Okay. Yeah. So that this is the part I think is the motivating part for, I think, not only the Indians but any foreign person coming to
Exactly.
Germany.
Yeah.
And that would be really good. I would try to sum it up very, very simple and very, very easy. It's like Germans are straightforward. They speak the truth, and if you say them something, they believe you
Absolutely.
in just directly. And the feeling of getting believed, whatever you said,
It's
is
immense. Absolutely.
so that makes your duty also that you say the truth always. The system here is really, really good. I mean, the system actually works, and that is something you will find not find everywhere. I would say in one sentence is that the German have thought of everything. You have a problem, and that problem has a problem, and that problem has a problem, and they have a book for that. They have rules and regulations for
They have thought about, yeah, all the things. Sometimes we are amazed, to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that this in within after World War II and this now it's like 80, 90 years, 70, 80 years, and they have thought about everything and how is that possible, and that is amazing. Not only that, the infrastructure is amazing. The quietness here is amazing. The rules and regulations, if you actually follow it, it feels really good. It feels safe. The system I loved. I like the system here because obviously it take times, it take delays, but you will get a result. You will get an outcome. The fresh air, the fresh water, they are the financial conditions, the small things that the Germans do. Like if you go in a group, they pay for themselves. If they have a cold, even they are sitting in a restaurant, they will take this and they just take outside in front of everybody. And this is healthy. This is what actually it's healthy. You cannot, if you have a cold, you cannot go inside, and that will actually reinfect you and cause more cold. But they just in front of anybody, and this I find it so amazing. And I go
For me, it was quite funny because we are not too used to doing that, right? Like,
yeah,
like really in between a conference, somebody is speaking and you do like really loud, like so,
yeah,
and then
yeah. Yeah, and I went to India and I did that, and I found it so healthy because when I did that I get feel cured automatically. I feel more healthy. I don't know. It's find it really good. Uh, these people are they are most of them are getting, new generations are getting open. They are like open minded. They are they try to be more creative, but they follow the rules and regulations for everything. So one small tip, just change the rules a little bit and see how the German reacts. You are gonna enjoy it.
yeah, that's yeah, because they follow it like as per the book, right?
Yes,
And
Farooq. Just yeah, yeah,
and also the respect or respect for time, like others time, that's why that makes them so punctual. I mean, I cannot emphasize this less because I have seen that, so somebody scheduled a meeting with me, and I got an email from, like, her name was Catherine, and she emailed to me, because her mother died. And imagine, she had written me an email that, hey, this has happened to me, and that is why I will not be able to make to the meeting. And I was like, man, nobody will even care to write in that kind of a situation. But that they have so much respect of others' time that even, in unexpected situations, they will make sure that you know, you don't wait for them or whatever. Yeah. So that was like, they are
that's a,
inbuilt with that. Yeah. Like they're like, and what are the, apart from, yeah, so these are the best aspects that you said about living in Germany. Also, I think the faster autobahns and, the public transport, all this
infrastructure.
infrastructure basically covered.
Every infrastructure in every field they have developed to the mark, man, to a standard. That is appreciable, man. That is really appreciable. If you don't have a mentor, you will automatically learn by yourself because you have an infrastructure.
Absolutely.
That is, and you will learn how to learn yourself. How to train yourself. That is also amazing thing. You will get a financial stability. You will when you learn to deal with loneliness, you will become internally very stronger and happier person. And in the long run, that is something that you will thank this country a lot, I think.
And your favorite places to visit or things that that you like to do particularly in this country.
Yeah. uh Fitness. I like the fitness sauna, fitness cold baths. I like a lot here. Uh, Other than that, in the South Germany, I like climbing the mountains and trekking the mountains and all. Uh, Other than that, if you don't get me wrong, whenever I get vacation, the first thing I do is take the flight and go out of Germany because I love the sun and I want the warm people and all that because it's so cold and cold and people are cold. Both are cold. So
You go to Spain, Portugal, or Italy. Where do you go normally?
oh, then just start clockwise. I start with Poland, Sweden, there's a Lithuania, these amazing countries, Krakow, Warsaw is amazing places. Then you go a little bit down to Czech. There's a Prague, Budapest. Budapest is amazing place, a really good place to go. Prague is a really amazing place to go. Keep going down, go to Greece and any of the islands of the Greece. They're also really good. Go to Austria in the Christmas market. You keep going a little bit on the clockwise to the Italy. The Rome is something that will literally blow your mind. You won't believe 5,000 of 2,000 or 1,000-year-old structures just standing there like a pillar and impossible, architectures that it's just amazing. I don't know. That's Rome fascinated me really a lot. It's not easy to fascinate me, but the Rome was something that I was really ready. I find it everyone should go to Rome once, and food and everything's amazing. Yeah. Venice is also good. Venice is like your childhood dreams, like childhood when you were. I'm a village guy. Venice in my childhood. Should I kept a very small village in India in Madhya Pradesh. So we had these small gullias, streets that cuts everywhere. When you go to Venice, your childhood memories are really active. You feel like, oh my god, again these small stuffs. You go here and there, and within 3 hours you can cover the whole Venice. It's not a then the amazing stuff is the Malta Gozo. That is really beautiful here. The Majorca Island.
Malta, you said for scuba diving. I think that's like
Yes.
really,
Yes. Yeah, Malta and this small island near the Malta is known as Gozo. Sardinia have one of the most beautiful beaches there. Majorca is amazing. Pizza, I would say, okay, you can go there, but I didn't. I was like, okay, cool. But Majorca, I found it really, really good. Uh, Go to more to the Spain side to the Lanzarote if you want to see the volcanic and sea and very stormy areas and to Lanzarote is good and other islands near the Lanzarote known as the Canary Islands. They're also amazing. Go to a little bit up Barcelona, Madrid. Any big cities are just big cities, so it is always fun to go there, but costly also. Portugal, I am planning. I haven't went there till
I went like Lisbon. I think 4 or 5 times already. Like I like the vibe of the city. When you say costly, I mean, each time I go to Switzerland, I find it so costly.
No, Switzerland is the bomb. I haven't been there, but that is the bomb there. That is the most costliest, one of the costliest. But yeah, I agree. In the Lisbon also, there is one more near place to Lisbon. It's known as Nassare. They have got like 30-meter waves and all. So that's also a very good place to go. A legendary Azores Island.
Estoril is also near. I have been like. I mean, they have like the Lisbon, like Portugal has so many good destinations, like Spain. So I find there's like also some similarity between Portugal and Spain. Like they're like people are more friendly, open. The food is
Yeah,
like
Kerala and Tamil Nadu.
yeah, kind of, kind of, yeah.
And then the most wonderful and I think the most scenic and romantic and I think anything that you can consider is Iceland.
Wow,
Also,
that's amazing. Yeah, that's
I haven't been there, but that is one of my other plans.
Yeah.
I have to.
thing. Yeah, so my Iceland trip is also pending, and in a lot of value in what we kind of talked. And I think for any incoming doctors, this is such a useful conversation because you have basically given them a 360 view of what it is to be a doctor. Either people, those who are like on the verge of coming, or they're planning to come, they can have they can make more informed decision. We will not say that you come to Germany. As Gunjan said, the world is huge. You can decide on any country, But if you come to Germany, be prepared for all the stuff that we discussed. And if you come to Germany, we are there to welcome you.
Yes.
All right, Gunjan, it was pleasure talking to you. Good night. Bye bye. Bye.